Let's start with this. We all know, or at least we all should be smart enough to know, that life isn't even. If I grew up with a lot of money, I didn't, but let's say I grew up with a lot of money and Joy grew up with none. And my brothers and sisters went to Ivy League schools, and my parents were always there for me. And let's say Joy's weren't. It's all hypothetical. I would have a huge advantage. Now, that doesn't mean by 45, 50 years old, she couldn't be a much happier person. But in your early 20s, I would probably have a lot more stability in my life, right? For somebody that didn't have some of the things I had. Again, it's a hypothetical, not saying I did. But quarterbacks are different. We give up on them after like 16 starts, right? It's not like life where you can get a divorce and start over, or you can have bad parents and turn out to have a good life. Stuff takes time, but in pro sports, especially quarterbacks, we don't give you a lot of that. So context is really important. Fans, you are great at passion. You often get in fights in games. You care so much. That's not good, obviously, but passion's what you're good at. What you're really bad at, and you got to own this, is context. You're absolutely sure when your young quarterback wins, he's great, and if another guy doesn't, he's bad. Context. What do they have as a coach, a GM, an O-line? So I looked at the passing grades this weekend for all the young quarterbacks. Mac Jones was the best. Zach Wilson was second. Justin Fields third. Trevor Lawrence fourth. And Trey Lance was last. Now, let me start with this. All the young quarterbacks, all the rookies showed glimpses of what they truly are. Mac Jones on Thursday gets rid of the ball fast, comfortable at the line of scrimmage, very accurate. Well, that's what he was in college. Trey Lance, whoo! Talent, but very uneven and sloppy. Why? Hasn't played much in 2 years. Justin Fields, super athlete, rolls out, make plays happen with his feet and his arm. We saw that in Chicago. Trevor Lawrence, not surrounded by much, but boy, he can make all the throws. He's big. That ball just snaps up. Oh, that's what we saw. And then, by the way, Zach Wilson, who I've been critical of, we all told you had a good arm, moves well, a little bit of an Aaron Rodgers comp. We saw some of that. Everybody gave you glimpses of what was advertised. But think of this. Two of them, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, have big-time coaches. Two of them, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, have rookie coaches. One of them, Justin Fields, has a coach who, if he doesn't win early, could be gone by Thanksgiving. Total hot seat. Fans are going to yell, my guy's the guy. My guy is better. Haven't we learned, with very, very few exceptions? It depends on where you land. Mahomes got Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill, great GM, smart owners. Josh Rosen didn't. Now, we think Mahomes is better than Josh Rosen, but do you think Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson would be this successful had they ended up in Jacksonville or Houston? I mean, take Baker Mayfield. He was a dumpster fire for the first 2 years. But they hired Kevin Stefanski and a really good GM, Andrew Berry, and he's got a great offensive line. Last 7-8 games last year, Baker Mayfield was good. We all know that in our real lives, like your life, my life, Joy's life, Ryan's life, we all understand, it's understood. Some kids get breaks, some kids don't. And we put that in context, like, you know what, you deserve something, you didn't get the breaks, or he's a trust fund kid, he'll be fine. But with quarterbacks, we never do that. I mean, Mac Jones, to me, has no playmaking ability and is the lowest ceiling. But when I watch New England, I think they remind me of Miami last year. Now, Miami this year has playmakers on the outside. They didn't last year. Am I going to be surprised if Mac Jones wins 10 games? Defense, specialty. I mean, they're going to beat the Jets twice. There's 2-0. No, I would not be surprised if Mac Jones won 10 games. I have him winning about 9. What if they go 11-6 and they win with defense and they don't turn it over and they have no penalties? Oh, wait, that's what they've always done. I mean, good God, they won 11 games with Matt Castle one year. Jimmy Garoppolo, every game he ever started in New England, he won. Jacoby Brissett played 2 games. He won one of them. The reality is context. Justin Fields. Everybody loves Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields. But does everybody understand what's going on in Chicago? He's got one elite wide receiver, Allen Robinson. What if he twists an ankle? What's he got to work with? He's got one running back I like, David Montgomery. He's hurt now. Offensive line, they are making it up as they go. The coach has to play Justin Fields, right? The fans want it, the media want it, the people want it, the players want it, all sorts of pressure. Yet I have the Bears at 7-10, and I think Justin Fields is going to be terrific. Context. What are all these players dealing with? And you know what they are dealing with? Different circumstances. Mac Jones, to me, is the least talented and could very well play the most snaps and win the most games this year. Okay, I want to talk about one quarterback specifically. Trey Lance. So, what fans want to see in San Francisco and what fans will see in San Francisco, to me, are two different things. My strongest opinion of all the quarterbacks this weekend is Trey Lance needs a lot more days in the batting cage. He was really uneven, really sloppy, and occasionally brilliant. But let me throw this at you. In the last 583 days, now just let that bake. It's almost 2 years, right? In the last 583 days, Trey Lance, after this weekend, has completed 20 passes in 583 days. And it shows. I know you'll want Jimmy Garoppolo to watch Trey Lance play. Trey Lance, it can be argued, needs to take every snap for the entire preseason. Folks, there's a big difference between you cracking a few jokes in front of friends. You're funny. And headlining at Caesar's Palace for an hour and a half. No notes. That's the NFL. Trey Lance is not ready. He will be. He could be. The coach is good. But it would literally be remarkable if Trey Lance, with 20 completed passes in 2 years, walked into the NFL in the NFC West and tore it up. I mean, that would be, there's no precedent for that. That kid just needs reps. You can see the talent. He's big, he's athletic, he can move, he's got a big arm. But when you start adding in how little he's played, how complex that offense is, the expectations, the division is the NFC West, Trey Lance needs to play in the preseason every snap and probably should not play in September. And if he's playing in September, it's probably because Garoppolo got hurt. Like that, this is not an indictment. Again, context. But when I watched him, he was the most uneven. High, low. It should have had a couple balls intercepted. It's not his fault. I mean, if I take a week off from doing this show, first day back, I'm rusty. 583 days. Trey Lance has completed 20 passes. His college program was a power team. It's like Alabama, where the quarterback's important but not crucial. You know, you go watch Oklahoma football, the quarterback's everything. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Spencer Rattler. You watch North Dakota State football, it's like Alabama. They're going to win pretty much whoever's playing quarterback. Kyle Shanahan talked about Trey's opening performance. I thought there was a moment when Justin Fields for the Bears walked on the field and got a standing ovation. Had never taken a professional football snap. And I'm like, I mean, the fans got the passion thing down. They're crazy. But let's just take a deep breath. I tell my kids this all the time. Anytime there's something going on, we don't have an answer, I'm always like, you got a lot of living left. Just take a deep breath. The answer isn't always today. Sometimes the answer is tomorrow, next week, next year, next decade. Take a deep breath for all these guys. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.